A very good morning, class. In the last video, we talked about the division of labor. Means how the labors are categorized. That is what we saw in the last video. That is simple occupational or product-based division of labor is there. Second talks about the complex division of labor or the process-based division of labor, and the third talks about the geographical division of labor. Just for a small recap, only what is simple occupational or product-based division of labor. Yes, just the same name with three sub-names: simple, occupational, product-based. Any of the names are asked, do not get confused, do not get confused with the terminologies of the concept. See, it says product-based division of labor means on the basis of product and on the basis of the work that is assigned to a particular person, the person is categorized. So, simple occupational or product-based division of labor talks about a person who is expert into a particular production or a particular product, particular group of work that is really assigned to that person. So that is why that rating or that work which is assigned to the person on the basis of that only, he is called an occupational person. Like for example, a marketing person who is expert in marketing is given a title, he is a marketing manager. So occupation is marketing manager. And what is the product? The product that he has to sell it out. The second is complex and the process-based division of labor, wherein we talk about the different processes a product has to pass on with, a product has to go on with. That is complex or process-based division of labor. The third feature talks about the geographical division of labor, means the boundaries are confined, the boundaries are divided on the basis of the product that one is blessed with. Like every country cannot produce everything that it requires. One country may be blessed with something, the other may be having a scarcity of that particular product. So there is exchange of two goods, one which has excess, the other which is lacking. So there is exchange. The geographical boundaries are covered. Then we talk about the horizontal and vertical line of production. Today our class is all about what are the advantages of division of labor. We saw, I just put a small recap on what do you mean by division of labor. By division of labor, we mean specialization of a labor into a particular set of work. Specialization of a labor into a particular set of work. So what is the utmost advantage when the labors are categorized, when the labors are divided on the basis of the work that they are expert in? So the first point talks about the first advantage of the division of labor is right man at the right job. Right man at the right job. Since the work is assigned to you according to your interest, according to your experience, according to your expertise, according to your knowledge, according to your efficiency, according to your mastery, then only the work is assigned to you. So we can say that the right man is sitting at the right job. The second point is said is increases efficiency of labor. When you tend to do multiple times or many times when you do same work, repeated times when you do same sort of work, you gain experience over it. You know all the small nucleus of the work. So what is and in which way is to be dealt with. So that increases your efficiency. Now efficiency has a direct relation with time. When your experience, when your knowledge increases to a particular set of work, the span of time that you spend for the production or for the assembling purpose or for the doing the work, that decreases. एक ही काम को बार बार करते थे, तुम्हारी जो टाइम है उसमें जो समय लगता है वो कम हो जाती है. That is what efficiency talks about. The third is saving of time and tools. Saving of time and tools. Now time and tools is concerned with the labor that they play with time and tools. Either you have to use some tools according to your time. Means our working hours is 6 to 8 hours only. But during that time, we need to have a quality production, confined production. That production can only be accomplished, can only be gained when you have knowledge about your tools. Like for example, in a car manufacturing industry, a labor must know which equipment or which tool is required for assembling of a particular set of either machines or either some parts of it. Okay, he cannot look after that. If an engine is to be fitted, he cannot look for the range. Okay, so and so number of tool is required. So he'll go again and bring it. So you must know if you are assembling this sort of tools are required over here, and you must be a master over that. Then only your time can be saved. The fourth point is save, less cost of production. When you tend to do same sort of work again and again, many a times, repeated times, there is a less chance of error. Error decreases. When your error decreases, the cost of production decreases. When we talk about the organization which is involved in the manufacturing of goods and services, when you tend to produce same sort of product for many times, your chances of error decreases, which saves the money of the organization. So, less cost of production is the result of it. Now, next is increase in mobility of labor. When you gain expertise over a subject, over a particular set of work, okay, means you become a master over a particular work. It gives you an upper hand that if you are not satisfied with that particular organization, you can switch on to other organizations even. Because the other organizations are looking for the experienced person, and if you are experienced, if you are talented, if you are skilled, if you have mastered your skills, you have the options to switch into different organizations. Next is production of superior goods. Now, superior goods here refers to quality of goods, quality goods. Okay, when we tend to produce, when we involved in the same sort of work many times, we will definitely produce a good which will be quality-wise very superior. Next is innovations. What happens when you do same sort of work many times? You tend to invent something, tend to discover something, discover some shortcut ways to get over with it. Like for example, if I try to solve the same sort of numericals, economics numericals many a times, like for example, if I solve a particular set of numerical, say 100 times, the moment I come to the 100th time, I discover that in spite of following so many procedures, so many steps, if I come to directly from the point 1 to point 6, the answer would come. So this invention has come after spending a lot of time, after having a lot of experiences. Next is cooperation among workers. See, the workers collide at that place, or there is a fight among the workers at that place when they are into a different set of works, when they are into the same set of works. When one work is assigned and many workers are to be, have to do that work, then no one is ready to take responsibility. Who will do it first, or who will do it in which manner? So there is chances of collision. But in a division of labor, where the work is divided on the basis of skills, on the basis of knowledge, we can say that the person has gained experience, and that is why there is no collision among the staff, among the employees. There is a cooperation among the employees. So class, we come to the end of this topic now, advantages to the division of labor, and I request you all to go through it, kindly study and learn it. It's very important from the examination point of view. Thank you, class.